Hello, everybody. All right. So I'm going to definitely try to make this a short video. Not really a short video, but kind of. Oh, it'll be kind of a long video. So as I'm doing this, I'm actually doing something else. Um, yeah. So give me 1 second here. Um, Hate doing this in front of you guys. But it's like, oh yeah, okay, all right, okay, up here, all right. All right. Okay. All right. So, sorry about that, everybody. Welcome back to the Book Corner. I'm Hermione, author and lover of all good things literature. So, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the books I read in the month of January. Now, January is interesting because for me to be able to do this, I had to step away from like social media and all this stuff because I really wanted to get it done. I really wanted to get all the books read and everything. And I was actually surprised by the time the month came to a close of how many books I actually had read. So for last month, I read a total of, and I'm very proud of myself, 31 books. 31 freaking books. And people will be like, you didn't really read that many books. You didn't really read 31 books. You just, no, I actually read 31 books. My Kindle proves that I got 3 of them read. And I also, of course, everyone knows I have a Nook, so I read books from there. So a couple of them were free books. And I love my free books. I do. They're my guilty pleasure. Thankfully, if you get several free books off of Barnes & Noble, your account does not get frozen. Yes, I heard it on TikTok that people's accounts were being frozen when they were doing the Stuff My Kindle Day. Yeah, that is not good. That's not good to do that to people. They're taking advantage of a free offer that you set up. Really? I just, it boggles my mind. That's why it's always better just to buy them outright. That way they can't freeze your freaking account. All right. Let's get started on this massive video because I got a lot of videos. Okay. So I'm going to start up with the one that I finished last, and it's called Monster Hunters International. It is book 1, and this was a book I bought. And it's about this guy called Pitt, who survives this werewolf attack. And yeah, his boss becomes a werewolf. Like, it starts off with your typical, asshole boss, and this guy's an accountant. This guy is in accounting. He's an accountant. He is a gun-loving accountant, and he's been doing this. He's been firing guns since he was little, and yeah, he's an accountant, and he survives this attack, and of course they're like, oh, is he going to turn? Of course he doesn't turn. And yeah, so he goes up against these forces with the aid of other monster hunters. So I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. I thought it was very, very good. For people that do want to know, I am currently reading through Onyx Storm, and I am currently reading Game of Thrones. So I am at 57% of Game of Thrones for people that care to know. The next one I want to talk about is Stephen King's The Shining. So Stephen King's The Shining, which is the second book. Yeah, third book under Stephen King's name that he published. And it was the one that was turned into a movie. And it's about this guy called, I believe his name is Jack. And he is the caretaker for the winter for this hotel. And everything spirals out of control with his life, with his wife, and everything. It is, I believe I gave it a 4-star. I don't remember. But it was a very interesting book, and I enjoyed it. I got it on Kindle because I did not have the patience to go to Target. Then I got The Witcher. This is The Last Wish. This is the first book. I also actually have it as a physical edition as well. I was at Barnes & Noble like last month, and I was like, oh, I'm going to see if I can get this as a physical edition. And I looked and looked, couldn't find it, and just when I was about ready to give up, there it was on the desk. And we're introduced to The Witcher, and if you have watched the first season of The Witcher, a couple of those stories come from that book. So I gave it 5 stars. It was a great book. I really enjoyed it. I liked the creation of this world and the characters that we are going to come to know very well. So yes, very, very nice. Very nice reading that I enjoyed. So I'm going to go through each of these piles of books. I'm hoping I can remember everything, because I did read, like I said, I read 31 books. It's a lot of books. Alright, oh yeah, almost forgot. Let me go through my Nook ones as well, because it is part of 31. Alright, let's see here. So, one of them was Books and Bribes by Lucinda Rice. So this is the first book of, like, this witchy, paranormal type of thing. I totally forgot what it's called. And basically, you have this girl, this woman. She finds this book that was given to her. She opens it up, and suddenly she's able to understand her cat, who, by the way, is so sarcastic in this book. He is so sarcastic, but he's so cute. And what basically happens in it is this woman ends up dead. And, yeah, I have the right one. This woman ends up dead, and at this library, she's a head librarian. And, oh god. And so, basically what happens is, you know, everybody, like, people are, I know people are kind of wondering, like, who wanted to kill this woman? And there's a lot of, like, blackmails involved and things like that. And weirdly enough, it's like you kind of get a big clue about who the killer actually is, and the author puts it right in front of you. Unfortunately for me, I have tried to figure out who the killer is so many times that I totally overlooked the clue, and it turned out to be another librarian. So it was interesting. You learn, one thing interesting about this is that as you are going along in this world, you're learning about this magic that this girl has and everything. So it's interesting, and also they do fly on brooms, if you guys want to know. Alright, I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. I actually finished that book in one day. It was a free book. So, I actually ended up getting 3 more books under the same series. I know it's going to get it out. Then we have Christmas Mitten Murder. Christmas Mitten Murder is actually 3 stories. And there's, Lee Hawley's, Maddie Day, and Lynn Calhoun. Maddie Day and Lynn Calhoun I absolutely love as authors. The other one, I didn't even know who she was. And it's 3 different murders that happen around, mysteries that happen around Christmas time. Christmas is like the glue that does this. And all 3 stories were really, really good. But my biggest issue with the book, and I forgot, I think I gave it like 3 stars or 4 stars, something like that, is we really didn't need 3 books that were like 3 stories written. Now I know one of them was a novella that the author, forgot which one, because she's doing this like this whole new mystery series, and I'm like, I'm probably not going to check that series out. But the other 2 stories were really good. All right. Also, an add to that one is it took me about a month to read that book. And if it takes me that long to read a book, I'm probably not going to read another one of those 3 stories in one. Alright. So, another Nook edition I got was One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I do actually have it as a physical edition. And what is basically it's about is it's about this world that has these Providence cards, and there's this spirit of the wood that draws people back to her, and it has this mist that drives people like crazy. I saw this on Book Talk, and I was like, you know, the cover was really interesting, and I'm like, you know, I'm going to give this a try, but it took me quite a long time to get to that point where, like, hey, I'm going to give this a try. I loved it. It's a dark fantasy, dark romantasy, but there's substance to it. There's, you know, you feel bad for the people that are being persecuted because of their illness, and also because they're hiding children with this illness, and it shows like the love that parents have for their children, and how this basically the kingdom punishes them for caring about their children. It was one weird book, but I loved it like so much. It was such a great book. I actually am going to be reading the sequel this month. So if you guys caught that one video, you know what I'm going to be reading next. Alright. Then, Make It to the Limit by Wendy Meadow. Okay, so this is actually the first book in the Barry Twins mystery series. And it's about these 2 women that are detectives, or like they used to be detectives, like police officers. Now they're retired. And what ends up happening is this snitch who got into witness protection is found dead in their new little community. And then when they encounter the guy who, the mob boss that went to Italy and now came back and stuff because of his sons, and that guy ends up dead. Yeah, they all die apparently. But yeah, it was a very interesting book, and I liked it so much I actually got the second book, so I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. So yeah, so I think that's all the Nook editions that I actually so I'm gonna is this like doing it again? So well, because I really want to make sure I get all of these. Oh no, that's not it. That is not it. Okay, so I also read a book called Steamborn by Eric R. Asher, and it's about it was one of those free books I got off of Nook. It was actually I had got an email from Barnes & Noble like a couple days after I bought my Nook. No, not the Nook that I originally, not the replacement Nook, but the Nook that I now, no, not the Nook that I own now, but the one that I ended up going like looked like it was having like a seizure or something. And I chose this steampunk trilogy, and one of them was Steamborn, and it's about this world with like mechanical stuff, like a game called Cogs, and you got like a steam bike, and you have these monsters that come out and just like literally disintegrate people to their bone, which is creepy as heck. It's like pure, beautiful white bone, and it's like, ooh, it's just creepy. So they have to get out of the city and go and try to find answers to what's going on. And I really liked this book because the villain is actually a former like veteran of the wars, and he's a butcherer. He is a literal butcherer. And it was interesting to have this guy who appears to not have any kind of power. He's a blacksmith, and he just seems to have so much power. So all in all, I enjoyed it. This month I will be. Oh yeah, I totally forgot to include that I am going to be reading the second book in that trilogy. So sorry about that, guys. I'm going to end up reading. I guess I'm going to end up reading 26 books. But yes. So yeah, it's a really interesting story and everything, and I loved it. Gave it 5 stars. I love steampunk. That's why I'm writing steampunk, and I just think steampunk is a very like visual kind of like medium, and I always love steampunk. That's why I'm writing it, because I love it so much. Great thing about being an independent author, you can write what you really love, not what people are demanding. Alright, so now that I'm done with the Kindle/Nook books, yeah, okay, alright. Okay, so we're going to start off the bottom of this list, because that's just the thing to do. Alright. So, let me try to find it. I have so many books. Okay. Alright. Okay. Now time for the physical books. So this is Roald Dahl's The BFG. This is part of a box set that I bought last year, because of the fact that I was hearing news that they were altering the books, and I was like, no. They later on said the classics would be available, but it had already been too late. I had already done my order. So this is a book that I got last year. I got several more. Next month I'm going to be reading Matilda. But it's about this girl. I don't remember her name. It might have been Violet. I don't remember. But anyways, this young girl is basically kidnapped by the BFG, and she has this really amazing adventure with him. And I need to lose more weight. Sorry. And it's just one wild adventure, and it was so beautiful and so heartwarming, and I loved it. And they end up like it's just so amazing. And you have like a drawing of the Queen, but she's like much younger, so that was really cool to see. Just loved it. It was a lot of fun to read, and I highly recommend it. I believe I gave this book 5 stars. So, yeah. All right. Then the next one is going to be Murder Undercover. And let me find it. Here it is. Murder Undercover by Katie Carzile. This is the 4th book in the Bibliophile mystery. I will say that I am not going to be selling this series on my eBay shop, so don't worry, guys. So it's really weird about it is that this man and woman are in bed, and when this lady wakes up, her bed partner is dead. and it freaks her out to like no limit. It absolutely freaks her out. And there's like spies and I believe the Russian mob and all this stuff in it. I was like, what the heck? What the heck? But overall, I really enjoyed it. I believe I gave this 5 stars on Goodreads. Absolutely thought it was amazing, and I'm definitely looking forward to getting the next book. Alright, then the next one is Welcome to Camp Nightmare by R.L. Stine. Alright. Welcome to Camp Nightmare by R.L. Stine. So this is, I do not know what number this is in the Goosebumps series. But basically, what basically happens is that this kid goes to his uncle's summer camp to have fun, and it turns into like people disappearing, or it's just strange things start happening, and literally he's like no idea why this is going on. And if you guys if you guys watched the TV adaptation of this book and how it ends, you're like, I wonder if it ends the same way in the book. It ends the same way in the book. It does. So yeah, so I gave this 5 stars. It was a good book. Okay. Alright, the next one is Grounded. This is book number 25, I believe. This is Star Trek: The Next Generation. So I'm actually reading the book before this one, and I'm kind of like concerned about is the one I'm reading next going to have interludes and all this stuff. So anyways, it's about the ship Enterprise, who's about ready to be decommissioned because of this something's going on with the ship and everything. And yeah, and there's mud involved. There is mud involved. And Captain Picard is trying everything to keep his crew together, and that involves facing what he's about ready to face. I gave this book 2 stars. I'm actually going to list this as my least favorite book in the entire pile. And I'm actually going to put it along the side and kind of give you like, oh, you know, which book did I not like and everything. But yeah. Alright. The next one is Nancy Drew Clue Book. This is number 4. This is Big Top Flop. This is actually another way that I was able to get through 25 books. And also the fact is that there was a couple times I just had way too much time on my hands. But anyways, so this is number 4, and this circus comes into town, and weird things just happen, things that Nancy just doesn't like. So she has to figure out like who's causing it, and Bess and George follow her, and they have whole wide zany adventures, and I enjoyed it. So I gave it like, I think I gave it like 4 stars, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Another thing I want to say, and I'm going to say this over and over again, these books are a great way to introduce your children to Nancy Drew. Alright. Alright. The next one is Nancy Drew Girl Detective. This is number 5. I actually have number 6 on my cart, but I'm not going to actually, I'm going to see if I can get it on Kindle, number 6. But anyways, so Nancy, Bess and George, and I believe Ned, they go to this, it's a movie being done, and these threats are going on, and Nancy's like, has no idea what's going on, people are getting hurt and everything. And it has a very, like, an environmental angle to it, but it kind of shows environmentalism as a bad thing, or like it could become a very bad thing or dangerous thing if certain people get involved in it. I did enjoy this book a lot. I thought this book was very well written, and Nancy Drew Girl Detective definitely makes me feel like that, oh, this is kind of like a correct sequel to the original Nancy Drew book. So I gave it 5 stars. Okay, put this over here so it doesn't start going everywhere. Alright. Alright, scroll up here. Because I'm using my book reads to do this. Alright. Alright, so Sarah J. Maas's Tower of Dawn. I believe this is the next to last book in the Throne of Glass series. It's a chunk of a book, but I got this read in like a week and a half, which was totally shocking. I guess it's just how much engrossed I was into the book. And it's basically, I believe it's the only one that doesn't have our main character from the other books. I could be wrong. But it was really, what I really liked about this book was that we got to see other people have a chance to have a story and not just be about the main character. And everything. And we find out there's a lot of stuff that is going on, that's rippling through and everything. Absolutely loved this book. I thought this book was so good and so well written, and I enjoyed it. It was very beautiful, and we got to meet other people. So yeah, 5 stars on this one. All right. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Alright. Then we got R.L. Stine's Fear Street, 99 Fear Street, The House. So it's 99 Fear Street, The House of Evil, R.L. Stine, The First Horror. And it's about this house that in all retrospect, this is actually the newer house on Fear Street. This is like a brand spanking new house. And it was before people died in it. And they are actually, they are the first people to actually move into the house. So while other houses on Fear Street have had multiple owners and people have lived there for pretty much a long time, this is actually the first house that has no one living in it. And they're the first. And there's a lot of stuff that happens in this book. This really shows of like how evil the fears were or are. They're still around in this world. Absolutely loved The First Horror. It really helped to get the foundation of why this house is what it is. And basically what happened was when they were digging the foundation for the house, they found bodies, and these were the people that Simon and Angelica Fear killed. Yeah, it doesn't depict magic as positive in this whole book series. R.L. Stine does not depict magic as positive. He depicts magic as very evil. And, yeah. We really wish he would have depicted magic as good, but he did not. He depicted it as evil. But it really helps to further cement about how evil the fears actually are and were. So I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. Alright. Alright. Then the next one. The Children of Blood and Bone. I cannot pronounce his name. Author's name. So, a lot of people are like, you know, you can tell someone's a Trump supporter, you can tell someone's racist just by what they read and all that type of stuff. Well, anyways, I was at Myers, and I went and I saw the cover art for the 3rd book in this series. It made me want to read the book. But I was like, no, I can't read the book. I gotta read the first book, because if I don't read the first book, I won't know what happened in the third book, or what was going on. So I got this. I actually sought it out, and I found it. It was like, it was like, it was like, was it, here's the bookshelves, then this way. It was like right here. But anyways, so this is about this fictional magical world, a magical country, where I believe it's the king, he has committed, like, I will say, genocide against these wonderful people. And there's a lot of dealing with, like, spirits and magic, and yes, magic in this one is seen in a positive light. But it's not, like, embraced. It's not embraced. And everything. I went into this book not sure if I was going to like it. When I got the book, I was like, I checked the synopsis. I was like, okay, this synopsis looks really interesting. I was blown away by how good this book is. This book was so good. The author really weaves this really complex story without doing an J.R.R. Martin thing. There's not a bunch of POVs. It is just very much a story of survival and of magic and of trying to take control of things. So I really did enjoy it, and the sprayed edges are absolutely beautiful. So I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads because it deserves it. Alright. The next one is Death of a Greedy Woman by MC Beaton. I believe this is number 5. Let's see here. Let me get my light. I don't know what number it is. Well, anyways. Yeah. So, Death of a Greedy Woman. And it's about this woman that she's rude, she's crude, she's obnoxious, and she's very dead. And Hamish Macbeth has to figure out who killed her. And there's a lot of people that wanted her dead, but actually her death was an accident. But still, it was murder, and the person ends up going to prison. But really good book, and this is also another book series that I will not be selling on eBay. So I gave it 5 stars. Good book. Oh, nothing about this book is series is they're long chapters, but there's not too many chapters. So, all right. Then we have Jim Butcher's Small Favor. This is I believe, the 10th book in the Dresden Files. And, of course, it follows Harry Dresden as he is trying to do what he's good at. And in this one, you have the spirits that are embedded in the coins that Judas Iscariot was paid. And they come out with a vengeance. And this is after one of them has been extricated from Harry Dresden's mind. And, yeah, so they are like, they're basically hunting him. And they use this archive's emotional state, which is so sick. It is so sick. I was like, really? But I enjoyed it a lot. Harry, of course, wins in the end. But it was a great book. And, yeah, nice and thick. So, enjoyed it. I will be reading the next Dresden Files book next month, if I wants to know. Alright. So we are getting close to the end of it. So yeah, so this is Terry Pratchett's Equal Rights. This is the 3rd book in the Discworld series, the first one that does not have the Wizard Rice one. And it's about a girl that when she was born, this wizard gave her his staff, not realizing that it was a girl and not a boy. And so she is trying to be a witch, but her magic is wizardry. And so her and Granny Weatherwax, which is the first appearance of Granny Weatherwax, who will become very, very famous. Everybody likes Granny Weatherwax. Everybody likes her. So she goes with her to go to the Unseen University, and all of this stuff happens. And finally, when the Arch-Chancellor finds out that this is the reason that she's got wizard magic, he's like, will allow her to come in. Absolutely love this book. This is actually my favorite of all of the Discworld books. Absolutely loved this book. Alright. Okay. The next one is R.L. Stine, 99 Fear Street, The House of Evil. This is the second horror, and this is, you can tell the difference in the style of the construction. So basically, once again, our favorite ghost is haunting. Okay, yeah, Bobby. Alright. Bobby. Alright, so anyways, Bobby is in this book again. So at the very end of the first horror, she actually ends up being trapped in the house. And so this new family moves in, and they know nothing about the horrors horrors. And basically, what happens is this kid here. He's got medical issues and stuff like that ever since he came off this island, and he has a secret that he is not even knows about. And so Bobby goes and spends all her time trying to make his life a living hell when, he's already dead, which was a twist in itself. But they also finally find the body of the little kid, of Bobby's little brother, and he finally found his dog, and it's so sad. He was holding his dog to him. He loved that dog so much. Anyways, once his bones are found, his spirit is released. He no longer haunts it. And, but absolutely loved this book. Absolutely loved it. Alright. Okay. So we're also going to do a review of Percy Jackson Olympians. This is The Wrath of Triple Goddess. This actually was released around Halloween time. I want people to know, as far as I know, there's not going to be a new Percy Jackson in the Olympians book this year. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. So that might change, but I really doubt it. So, Hecate has asked Percy to watch over her two familiars while she goes around the globe. Yes, Hecate is actually not bounded to the United States. She goes everywhere because she's a goddess of magic. So she's got to be everywhere. Everywhere they celebrate her, she's got to be there. Unfortunately for poor Percy, it ends up being a total disaster. And Annabeth and Grover have to help him locate them before Hecate comes back from, I don't know, Hogwarts. I don't know. She might be going there. We don't know. But anyways, so we also find that Hecate had given birth to this guy in, I believe it's maybe like the 1700s or whatever period of time. And he absolutely hated his mother. And he was brainwashed by the zealots of the day, and he spent his entire life trying to make hers as miserable as possible. And she feels this big remorse in this book about how her son's life turned out. And it's interesting, the son of the god of sleep embraces him and says, okay, it's time to rest. It's been a very long day. And that just tugged my heartstrings. I'm like, oh, you're so cute. Oh, he was so, loved him. He was so adorable. But yes, and Heke's son finally rests, and that is the most important thing. But it was a weird book. And I was hearing people say, oh, not people, but this one woman say, this book is a cash grab. It's, we didn't need this book. I love this book. This book was really, really great. And I loved, especially that one scene was absolutely beautiful. And Hecate had to come into realization that, things happen. And you shouldn't blame yourself for them. So, yeah. Because at least she tried to be a parent. So, yeah. Gave it 5 stars. Great book. Alright. Then we got Murder on Wheels by Lynn Calhoun. This is the this is the 6th book. I totally skipped the 5th book. This is the 6th book in the series. And basically, this woman owns this vegan food truck. She ends up dead, and of course, our favorite protagonist has to figure out exactly who wanted this woman dead for what weird reason. Absolutely enjoyed it. You can actually get away by thinking this is a self-published book. It actually is not. It took me probably about 3 or 4 days to read. Because of work and everything, but I really enjoyed it, and the ending was weird, so I think I gave it 4 stars. I'm not exactly sure, but still, the series overall is really, really good. Alright, we don't have that many books to go! Yay! Alright. Okay. Alright. Okay. So, we have A Whisker of Trouble by Sophie Ryan. I believe this is the 3rd book or the 4th book. I don't remember which. I don't remember which. Can't see. Anyways, so basically this guy ends up dead. No, he wasn't murdered. The guy who is the appraiser was the one that was murdered. But the guy who was in the will, of the guy who died, he had a will. And so this appraiser comes in to appraise the value of some items. He ends up dead. And we now have to figure out exactly how this man died. One thing I can say about Sophie Ryan, which is also named for another author and everything, she does a really great job in pacing, and she does a really great job of not putting a clue in front of you that makes it too easy to solve the mystery. Overall, once again, loved this book. Elvis is absolutely wonderful, as always. And the reason for killing this guy was just I don't even want to talk about the reason why this guy was killed. That was so freaking, stupid. Just stupid. But I gave it 5 stars. It was a great book. And I actually have the next book in my Amazon cart. So in March, I will buy the next book on Kindle. Then we have A Whisker of Doubt by Kate Colty. This is the 4th. No, this is the. Yeah, I was right. I was about ready to say, this is the fourth book in the series, and this is a Christmas one, Christmas themed one, and there is this cat colony, and there is a fight, literally claws out, between the animal activists and the people, and one of them ends up dead. And yeah, it does not turn out well. It does not turn well at all. The Cat Cafe, of course, is doing really great and stuff. And it's like, oh boy. It's just like, what the heck? I don't know. I don't know. But it was a delightful one. Great. This book is really great if you want to read a murder mystery around Christmas time. But overall, I highly enjoyed it and also gave it 5 stars. All right. Okay. The next one is The Fudge Cupcake Murder by Joanne Flunky. I bought this book off of Amazon like a couple months ago. And something tells me the murder weapon was a cupcake. Just a thought. Just a thought. So I'm going to look at this and see if I'm right that the murder weapon was. Oh yeah, okay. And now, okay, now I remember it. Now I remember it. So basically, Hannah's brother-in-law is going up for the sheriff's department, and he's going up against this sheriff that's been around for a very long time. He wins, but the sheriff ends up dead. And yeah, and so I don't quite remember who killed the sheriff and the reasoning, but besides that, I really found the book to be interesting. And it was like you kind of think to yourself, was the sheriff involved in something? Was he doing something that he shouldn't have been doing? We don't know. And the reasoning behind it, I'm pretty much going to take a guess, was really, really stupid and dumb and all that type of stuff. So, but I did give this book not 4 stars, 5 stars. All her books get 5 stars. They're just that good. And next time I read another one, I'm going to remember who the killer is. I need to. Real bad. Okay. Then we got Death by Pumpkin Spice by Alex Eckerson. This is actually a really good book to read around the Halloween season. I need to lose more weight. So basically what happens is this woman dies, I believe, in one of the dining rooms or in the bathroom, one of the two. And we find, as the story progresses on, we find out a lot more about the victim than we ever wanted to know. And we find out that she is actually, the woman dies not by poison or by any other way except natural causes, but it is actually the daughter that's the victim. And we find out that this lady's husband cheated on her with the woman who got the woman pregnant, had the little girl. So what happens is, finds out that he's leaving all his money, all his fortune to his daughter, and little wifey doesn't like it. So what does she do? She has the daughter killed. Yes, I remember that very well. Very well. It's very twisted. Like, the little girl deserved to be murdered. But she wasn't a little girl, she was a grown woman. But still, yeah, not a good way to go. But I gave it 5 stars because it was just so good. Alright, we're down to the last 4 books. Alright. Alright, so we have The Silence in the Library. This is the Cat in the Stacks book by Miranda James. And this was another book that I liked, but I did not quite figure out, or I didn't quite understand the motive behind killing this person. Yeah. I think that the motive for killing this person was actually just really, really stupid. And it was so stupid I totally forgot why this person was killed. Um, so I'm going to say the Silence of the Library is actually one of his weakest books. Yes, it's actually written by a guy with a woman's name. Don't be wrong, I still love The Kitty, I really do. But this was actually not my most favorite book. And, yeah, sorry guys. I don't know what I gave it, but, yeah. Mm-mm. Alright. The next one is Rita Mae Brown, Sneaky Pie Brown, Pay Dirt. This is the fourth book in the series. And I'm reading it because I use this light to read my books, and it's a pretty good light, and I'm able to read it. But I just did not understand what was the point of killing this person. And the plot was really confusing, because I read this book like when I was in my 20s. Yeah, I'm old. Uh, and I don't even remember if I got the plot when I read it myself the first time around, and I still did not get the plot of the book the second time around. So I'm going to say this is not my favorite book. You know, that I totally forgot what I gave it. I think I might have gave it, oh, dear Lord, I probably gave it a 5-star rating. I really need to stop doing that. I really need to stop doing that. But yeah, it's yeah. Hopefully the next book will be better. Alright. Then we've got It Takes a Coven. This is a Witch City mystery. This is my favorite series of all. And basically, people are being killed and they happen to be witches. And one thing I will say about Carol J. Perry's books is you know who killed them. The reasoning behind killing these people is like very clear and very logical in some cases. I had a blast with this book. I had to actually order this off of Amazon because, first of all, I couldn't get in my Barnes & Noble account, and second of all, I had bought other books from them and everything. But this book was just rock solid good. And there's a lot of like magic and everything in it. I just love this book series so much. I really do. Carol J. Perry delivers a solid book with solid characters that you absolutely adore and you really root for and everything. I gave it 5 stars. It's a great book. And actually, as everyone knows, I'm actually reading the next book in the series this month. Alright, last but not least is Rose Mortem by Cleo Cole. This is a coffee house mystery. I will add this to the 3 other books that I did not quite understand the plot of the book. Now, I don't know if it's because of the light I was using, which is pretty decent, but I just could not quite understand it. Like, I don't even remember the name of the person that was killed. That's how uninteresting this book was. This is the first Cleo Cole book that I absolutely can say it was not worth the star rating I gave it. Like I said, I need to stop doing that. I really do. I really do. Anyways, so yeah. So all these books were really great, except for these 4. These four, no. No. This one is going in my eBay shop. Alright. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this very long, nearly hour-long video. And I will be back next of the oh yeah, the second as well. I will be back the second as well. Alright, I will see you around.